People come and go so quickly here.
No, I don't know many people.
I know too many people. I guess we're both lonely.
Milk was a bad choice.
You crying? No. Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
It's the Al Travis Show, and we've got our Senator Julia Coleman on the line with us. Senator, Merry Christmas.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you and yours, Al.
I thank you very much for that. I ask, if you don't want to talk about it, you just say no. I know that you have a distinct backgrounds in your family alone when it comes to the holiday season. Can we talk about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So my father-in-law is Jewish. I'm Catholic. So my husband was always raised in both traditions, and we're doing the same with our boys. So we do Hanukkah, and we do Christmas, we do Easter, and we do Passover, and, you know, I intend to send them to Israel someday, and it's amazing how much learning more about, you know, the Jewish heritage has helped me understand the roots of my own faith as well. It's been a really fun journey for me, too.
Oh, I love that. No, I want to get to Israel sometime myself. Let me ask you this, though. Growing up, Senator, did you have Christmas tradition that was unique to you and your family?
So every Christmas Eve, my mom would get us a pair of pajamas and a book, and we would start in the youngest kid's room and read their book till they fell asleep and progress all the way up to the oldest. And so my boys are too close in age for that particular tactic, with two of them being the exact same age, but I'm continuing that tradition on.
Oh, I love that. I love that idea a lot. And is food anything that has to be there? We've been talking a little bit about that today. I was always, we did ribs on Christmas Eve.
Yes, I am. We do a Grinch movie night on Christmas Eve, so tonight, and I actually, will boil green spaghetti noodles, and I let them eat it with their hands and make it as messy as possible. I'll put tinfoil on the table and pour the pasta right onto it. They think it's the greatest thing in the world.
I love that. How old are the kids?
So my twins are 4.5, and their big brother is 6, who just lost another tooth last night. So he is going to be wanting some front teeth for Christmas.
That is the perfect age for doing what you're doing. That's fantastic. And I love The Grinch. That is one of my favorite Christmas movies.
Top tier. That and Elf. I got to do it every year.
I love that. And then when you mingle in with your husband, what are some of the cool traditions you enjoy about, I guess, the Jewish religion, what you found?
You know,
did they have any quirky things? Can they do quirky things? I don't even know.
The Colemans have a huge party every Christmas Eve, and it's so much fun. We rock, paper, scissors over who has the sober cab every year, and it's just an absolute blast. I mean, they have a huge extended family, and so that house somehow squeezes 80 people into it.
And that's here in Minnesota somewhere? I mean, I'm not asking where, but okay.
All
right. Oh, fantastic. Oh, it sounds like a good thing. And then when it comes to the gift giving, if I may, is it less is more or more is more? What is the Coleman rule of the household?
Oh, so for the boys, I decided to go sheer chaos this year, and luckily they don't listen to the radio yet. I found indoor bumper cars. And,
what?
So that'll be my headache for the next several weeks. Yeah, I'll send you a link to them. They're pretty awesome, actually.
Oh, I want to see that. Yeah, okay, indoor bumper car sounds cool. But so you're saying you do one large gift and then or is it a member of how many gifts can you get under the tree?
Yeah, I like to do one big one every year for the boys, and the rest are just things I think they'd like, little knickknacks.
I love that. And then how do you and your husband handle things? Do you just, it seems like most of the people, at least at the age of this program, we all have what we need, right? Julia doesn't probably have to have a thing. There might be some wants on the list. Do you guys work that back and forth? Or here, let me share. So my wife and I are getting chairs. The lounge chairs in our back room are gone, and we wanted to splurge on them, so we're getting chairs. It's not sexy, but it's what we both agreed on, and that's what we're getting. Not a shocker.
You know, when I shop for adults, I try to get things that they wouldn't get themselves. Things that they need to pamper themselves or a fun activity, but something they wouldn't spend money on for themselves. So I usually try to go more for experiences when it comes to shopping for grown-ups.
What about your spouse, though? I mean, that's my point. Is you live with them, you're together. It's like, okay, if I'm getting you a movie night, I'm going with you, I guess. Is it harder or easier because you know them that well?
I just think men in general are hard to shop for, not to make an overgeneralization, but when it comes for shopping for him or my father or my stepfather, I was like, pull my hair out.
See, and I think, okay, I'm going to just push back a little bit because I think I'm like the easiest guy to shop for. My wife would probably roll her eyes for hearing that. But I will tell you, these are the golf balls that I like, right? Kids don't say, I have what I need. Here's the golf balls I like, but I want those. Don't just go get any golf ball because then I give them to my friends. Here's what I want, golf shirt. Here's the size. I think I'm easy. Now, it may not be glamorous or shock my world kind of stuff, but I told the wife I need new, what do they call them, no-see-me socks? Those little white socks that you don't come over the top of your golf shoe. I need those. It's not sexy, but I think I'm easy.
Well, what's the problem? Maybe people want to just do something special for you, Al.
Well, see, and so I tell my wife, if not, because she's like, oh, I said, great. Tell the kids they know the cigar that I like to smoke. Band together, get me a box of those. And that gets poo-pooed. Oh, no, that's bad for you. Okay, it's a gift. Anyway, no, I disagree that I'm hard. I'll bet you your husband's the same way. I bet you there isn't a lot on his want list, so just give him something a nice golf shirt, nice throat puller, whatever it would be.
So much away because he listens to the show.
Okay, no. Well, I'm glad he listens. He's got taste. I like that. All right, we've got to go to break. We got to talk some work stuff after this, if you're all right with that. It's Senator Julia Coleman on the Al Travis Show.
When the stakes are high at the Minnesota Capitol, you need more than a lobbyist. You need a partner. At Momentum Advocacy, we bring nearly 90 years of combined experience in government relations, public affairs, and strategic communications. From nonprofits to national corporations, we help organizations navigate Minnesota's political landscape with integrity, insight, and results. Whether you need legislative champions or headlines, Momentum Advocacy delivers. For more, visit momentum-advocacy.com. Momentum Advocacy, your friends at the Capitol.
If it's your turn to host a game, Grandpa's Barbecue suggests you try something different. Put out the perfect barbecue flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. Add it to your ribs, dip the meatballs, or drench your wings in the original flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. It isn't too hot or spicy, fruity or smoky or whatever. Grandpa's Barbecue. Available in select stores and online at grandpasbarbecueshop.com.
Are you kidding me?
You know that comment you said to the radio? The thing that we got wrong?
Clearly, Brussels sprouts are the worst vegetable.
Call us and let the world know your thoughts. 855-257-7469. That's 855-ALS-SHOW.
We're lucky to have her, Senator Julia Coleman, on the program with us today. Senator, lot going on, and I want to get your ideas whether it's just the right amount, not enough, or we even have even more. U.S. House Oversight Committee is now looking into Minnesota. You throw on the DOJ, you throw on the Department of Human Services, you put the Department of Education, Department of Transportation. Everybody and their brother is now taking a look at Minnesota because, in all reality, Trump said it was going to be $1 billion in fraud. Spotlight gets hit on us. The argument becomes with our governor and the paper, oh, it's never going to be no $1 billion. Well, guess what? Attorney General Thompson comes out and says it's going to be closer to $9 billion. And I'm sitting here saying, I don't care what the number is. It's just wrong. Let's fix it. Is it too much? Are we hogpiling like the governor says it's just a political stunt? Or is there that kind of a fraud actually going on here, Senator?
That was the largest number I've heard yet,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't shock me. And when you talk to, say, Representatives Kristen Robbins or Marion O'Neill, people have been really digging into the fraud, and I don't know why the Senate won't make a fraud committee, but nevertheless, they have told me off the record that it is an industry of fraud. We have literally created a tourism industry of fraud, and they've been trying to bring this fire alarm for months and years now, and I'm so glad we're finally getting federal scrutiny on this and attention. But it's also, like I say every time I'm on the show talking about this, it's also heartbreaking when you're cutting nursing home funding and special ed funding just to find out how much money is going to waste, fraud, and abuse in this state.
Well, and there's so much to that. What I don't understand is maybe why people aren't more upset. The rest of the world is mad because they all pay into federal taxes and it's going willy-nilly out the door. I can see why the rest of the world's mad at Minnesota. But, Senator, on this show alone, we've been talking about this for 5 years. This is not a shock to me. Maybe the number's a shock. But is that really the problem, is that the number finally got out? There's no one shocked about fraud in Minnesota, are they?
I don't think people are getting shocked anymore. What I'm hoping is that people don't become desensitized to it.
Yeah.
But, for those of us who have been watching closely, very closely to Feeding Our Future and what's been going on, we saw that there were no changes made. There was simply a roadmap for how to do this, pretty much exposed on the front page of the paper. So fraud has been a big deal. We've been trying to figure out how Feeding Our Future even happened and how to prevent it from happening again for years. And it's so disingenuous to me that once the governor gets in national hot water, that's when we start wanting to do things about it.
Well, we'll talk about the things they want to do. Well, you brought it up, the fraud tourism. They came up with a word here for Minnesota, fraud tourism. Two guys from Pennsylvania were told, hey, come here, start an LLC, and the money will pour into your pockets. They did, and they got caught for $3 million. If somebody in Pennsylvania is getting the word, Senator, you cannot tell me people inside the Department of Human Services did not know it.
It's not just Pennsylvania. The Department of the Treasury said that they have reason to believe that a lot of the fraudulent money has been getting sent to Al-Shabaab. There's terrorists that know that we are able to have our pockets picked here.
So, but back to my point, is there any way, anyhow, that anyone had ever believed that the people that actually write those checks didn't know the same thing?
That's the big question, right, is who knew what and when? Because for there to be this level of fraud going on in the state of Minnesota, somebody had to have known something, or we have the most incompetent agency heads that exist in this country.
But again, we all want to stop at the agency heads, but I'm going down to those people that end up writing those checks, right? There are people that realize that autism was given a $3 million budget, and within 4 years, it's at $400 million. Every year, somebody in that department saying, hey, Bob, you're doing a great job writing checks. What's going on? Every year, somewhere, somebody is not. And I'm not saying everybody in the department is wrong, but there's got to be more fail-safes than just it's a department head, because the department head, they'll just switch department heads, right? You go over here, Bob, you come back over here. I don't put this because it seems like I'm just calling for heads, and I'm not that guy. Somebody has to be held accountable, right? We'll go get the guy who stole from $400 million. We'll put that guy in jail for 18 months. Do the math. It's wonderful work. We'll put them in jail for 18 months, 24 months. But what about those that work for us? Is there any legal culpability in any of this? I don't know the answer to that. I'm thinking no.
There would be legal culpability if you could prove that they knew about it. See, that's where the difficult thing for a prosecutor would be is how do you prove they know unless you have something in writing or some sort of paper trail, which is, I would hope people wouldn't be smart or dumb enough to send an email saying, haha, guess what I'm getting away with. Or you'd have to find some sort of forensic evidence for financial kickbacks. The question is, obviously Minnesota, the agencies right now aren't going to be looking that hard for this. The question is, are the feds going to be doing the investigative work that needs to be happening to root out people that may have known about this and done nothing?
Well, that'll be interesting to see. One last thing before I let you go. The governor is now getting his, what is it called? Inspector General Coordinating Council. A lot of us know as the OIGCC. They're getting together. They were put together in September. They're getting together with the new guy. I call him Superman, Tim O'Malley. He's the new director of program integrity, ex-FBI guy, ex-judge guy, probably has Superman, tattooed on his chest. They're getting together, and they're going to take care of fraud. I know about this because the paper wrote about it, said they're getting on top of the fraud. They're getting ahead of the fraud. Can you tell me, Senator, what either of those two groups can do? They just made them up, so they don't have any powers, do they? What can these two groups do?
That was my understanding, is that it's very vague what they even can do. And if the governor wanted an office of Inspector General, it passed with bipartisan support out of the Senate. And then what we were hearing from House Democrats was he was making calls trying to prevent it from passing the House, which is where it went to die. The problem was we made it an independent agency that can't be controlled by the governor. And that's what we wanted. And he didn't want his powers to go away. So if he doesn't want his powers to go away, how much authority is this person actually going to have?
Well, and again, how much can he give them? Here's my thought. The federal government pays the SNAP benefits. They have asked all states to send us who you're sending SNAP payments to. To me, that makes some common sense because one of the issues is, let's say you're like Al lives just 8 miles from the Iowa border. I sign up for SNAP here. I drive 8 miles, sign up for SNAP in Iowa. There are people getting SNAP benefits in multiple states at a time. So why wouldn't we send it to them? Well, Minnesota's one of 21 states that says no. We're worried what Orange Man will do with that information. What he can possibly do with it, I have no clue, but let's just say they're worried. Can Superman here, Tim O'Malley, go in and take a look at those same things, those same people's names and numbers? Are we giving him that right?
Again, it's very vague, and for me it seems like a very disingenuous move. When you had the chance to have an office of Inspector General and tried to block it from happening, when you've had 5 years to get serious about fraud, and you wait until you're in the papers every day to do, quote, do something. And then, when legislators are sitting here scratching their heads going, what can this person even do? It doesn't seem real to me.
Well, and somewhere we got to look at it. Again, I just said the last thing, but I got one more minute. It seems weird to me that there's enough money in the programs that we're kicking around that people can actually pay kickbacks. The autism thing, I'm not sure. I don't know you should be able to get this rich that evidently you can pay parents kickbacks to send their non-sick kids somewhere, and there's still enough money in it for everybody to get rich. Let's say we're running it legit. Is there that much extra money we're paying people to take care of autistic kids that there's kickback money that can be involved as well? Why are we paying so much? Just per kid.
We shouldn't be. And when you look at the budget, I mean, Senate Republicans, you're going to see us coming out with proposals soon for how to get the state back on track. And a lot of it's going to sound like harsh cuts, but they're not, because we've just been overpaying. We've been acting like we're flush, like our taxpayers have no limit, and it's just gotten out of control.
All right. That's fair enough, because, again, if there's enough money for that kind of money that you'd sell your kids to the autism guy, to say he's got autism when he doesn't, just get enough money for kickbacks. It's just there's way too much money in the program per incident. I got to fly. Senator, I appreciate you coming on, as always. I hope you and yours have a very Merry Christmas.
You as well. Merry Christmas, Al.
Tired of one-sided media